AAA game. In 2026, huge worlds, heavy graphics, and they keep getting harder to run. But then I looked at this, my old PS4 Slim, a console that's already a decade old. I remember when this thing felt powerful, when games like this were the cutting edge. And now, everything has moved on. So I started wondering, can it still keep up today? Can a 10-year-old PS4 actually handle modern AAA game? Or is this where it finally falls behind? There's only one way to find out. This is my PlayStation 4 Slim. About 10 years ago, it cost around $300. Now, you can find one for under $100. And at that price, it's even cheaper than some brand new AAA games. So yeah, on paper this thing sounds like a great deal, and at first glance, it still looks pretty good. Not many scratches, no obvious signs of damage. Power it on, everything works as expected. Inside, it's still using the stock 500GB hard drive, but honestly, none of that really matters. What I really want to know is this. How does it actually feel to game on this PS4 Slim in 2026? So I've put together a lineup of AAA games, from well-optimized titles to some of the heaviest ones this system might have to deal with. Let's start with Marvel's Spider-Man. And right from the moment it launches, you can already notice something. Load times are definitely slower than what we're used to today, but honestly, that's not the most important part. What I really care about is this. Once you're in the game, how well does it actually play? And I have to say, it's smoother than I expected. It actually feels surprisingly close to what I remember. Back when this console first came out, this was exactly the kind of experience people expected, and even now, it still manages to deliver that same feeling. Fast movement, constant camera swings, but everything still feels stable. If you judge it just by this experience, it almost feels like this PS4 isn't outdated at all. At least with Spider-Man, it still holds up surprisingly well. But what if we push it further? Let's try something heavier. Ghost of Tsushima, and this is where things start to change. Bigger world, more detail, more systems running at the same time, and even though it's still playable, you can start to feel the difference. When I start riding across the map, and the camera pulls back to show the entire world, that's when it hits. You can feel the system trying to keep up. Frame pacing isn't as stable, controls don't feel as responsive, it's not terrible, but it's clearly not as smooth anymore. This is probably the point where the hardware starts to show its age, but we're not at the limit yet. So I decided to push it even further. A bigger world, more complex systems, and a game that's known for being extremely demanding. That is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And holy I couldn't even get into the game. Not because of the hardware, not because of performance, but because of online services. Seriously? 10 years ago, you put the disc in and you play. Now, you need an account, you need servers, and sometimes you just need luck. So yeah, even if this PS4 is still capable of running the game, the experience depends on things that are just ridiculous. And sometimes one tiny issue like this is enough to stop you from playing entirely. But hey, maybe this is just another kind of limit? Not hardware, but the ecosystem. Anyway, I've got another option. Metro Exodus, a game known for massive environments, complex lighting, and performance that's anything but forgiving. If this PS4 Slim has a real limit, this is where it shows. Right from the very first moments, that sense of smooth and stable is gone. Controller input starts to feel delayed. Not huge, but enough to notice. Step into larger areas with dense detail and heavy effects, and the frame drops hit more often. The camera isn't as smooth. Every movement feels just a bit slower, especially during fast-paced combat. All the effects, lighting, AI, everything stacks at once, and that's when it really shows. This is the limit of a 10-year-old console trying to handle games built for a completely different generation. It still runs, but the experience, it's no longer comfortable. And at this point, something becomes very clear. It's not just the games. This system itself is being held back by that original 500GB HDD. So now, a simple upgrade, a 1TB SSD. With a PS4, you can't upgrade the CPU, you can't overclock. All you can do is swap the drive, and luckily it's quick and easy, no complicated process. So I want to see if removing just one bottleneck can actually change the experience. Not completely, but enough to matter. After reinstalling the system, we're ready to test it again. Let's go back to Spider-Man. And this time, you can feel the difference almost immediately. The loading screen doesn't drag on like before. It's quicker, cleaner, and more importantly, it just feels better to use. It's not some kind of magic upgrade, but clearly everything feels more responsive, more fluid. Now with Ghost of Tsushima, the difference is even more noticeable. Loading into the world feels faster, transitions feel smoother. How so? And while the FPS itself doesn't jump dramatically, the experience as a whole feels a lot more stable. Less stutter, less hesitation, it just flows better. And this is the key point. This PS4 isn't getting weaker. It's just been held back by old limitations. And if such a small upgrade can already make this much difference, then the real question is, can it handle other AAA games more consistently now? So let's test one more. The Last of Us Part 2. And honestly, this is surprising. Everything looks stunning, insane level of detail. But more importantly, it stays stable. Movement is smooth, controls feel responsive, no sign of that struggling feeling we saw in earlier games. And that's what makes this so interesting, because at this point, it's not about whether the PS4 can run these games, it's about how well it can still keep up. And this is where things get interesting, because for the same price as a PS4, around $100, you could also build a PC. For example, take this Dell Optiplex 70020. For just $69, you get an i5-4590 debugger and 8 GB of RAM. Then at a GT 1032GB GDDR5 for around $40, and just like that, you've got a complete gaming PC for roughly the same price as a PS4. Sounds like a great deal, right? But here's the real question. How does it actually perform when it comes to gaming? With a lighter AAA title like Tomb Raider, this PC can actually keep up. Smooth visuals, decent performance, responsive controls, no major issues here. But then I switched to The Witcher 3, and everything changes. FPS drops hard, down to under 30, and at that point, it's no longer comfortable to play. Then comes Cyberpunk 2077, first launch, error, couldn't even get into the game. Second try, it finally runs, but just barely. We're talking low teens FPS, and the experience? Honestly, terrible. So yeah, on a approximately $100 PC like this, playing modern AAA games is really difficult. Not just not smooth, but sometimes not even playable. And that's when it hits you. This PS4 was built for one thing: gaming. Not flexibility, not raw power like a PC, no upgrades, no customization, but instead a deeply optimized experience. Fine-tuned to run AAA games on hardware that's over 10 years old. And that is exactly why it still holds up. And at this point, the answer is becoming clear. A PlayStation 4 Slim can still handle AAA games in 2026, but not all of them. With well-optimized titles, the experience is still solid. In fact, it's good enough to truly enjoy the game. But once you step into newer, heavier titles, that's when the limits start to show. And here's the interesting part. This PS4 hasn't gotten slower. Its performance is exactly the same as the day it launched. The games have simply moved far beyond it. And in a way, that's not the console's fault. 10 years ago, it was $300. Now, under $100. At that price, it's not a perfect machine, but it's definitely not obsolete either. So if all you want is a simple gaming experience, nothing too demanding, then a PS4 like this is still more than capable. What about you? Are you still using a PS4 in 2026? Let me know in the comments. And for now, it's time to wrap this up. I'll see you in the next video.